organised crime group involved in armed robberies, break-ins and witness intimidation. Meanwhile, Joshua Pollard, known as Bun Up, remains in detention under a separate PDO. A man wanted for the murder of a police officer is dead after a shootout with police in Matura. 48-year-old Hassan Johnson, also known as H-Man, was wanted in connection with the July 28 killing of Police Constable Romel Douglas in Kelly Village. Police say they spotted Johnson at Mora Trace on Tuesday, but he ran into nearby forested areas and escaped. Officers later surrounded a house where he was believed to be hiding and called on him to surrender. According to police, Johnson opened fire, prompting officers to return fire. He was shot and taken to the Sandy Grande Hospital, where he later died. Police also detained a woman suspected of harboring him. The Agriculture Ministry is moving to calm fears over the availability of chicken, saying the current tightening of supply is temporary and not the result of a production crisis. The ministry says extreme heat has forced some farmers to reduce the number of birds placed on their farms to protect animal welfare and limit losses. The ministry in a statement says chicken remains available, although some consumers may find it harder to purchase their usual quantities at certain retail outlets. The ministry adds that hatchery projections show an increase in chick availability within the next 2 weeks, with supplies expected to gradually return to normal about 3 weeks later. However, the ministry says it will continue to monitor production, imports and weather conditions while working with industry stakeholders to address the challenges. This has been Headline News. Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Brew, everyone. I'm Ryan Beach, back here for Jason Williams this morning, who is attending the Canto Conference in the Bahamas. It's a real pleasure to be with you once more for the second time this week. Of course, earlier this week, my colleague Bhavita Gopal-Chan took you through Monday and Tuesday. In Trinidad and Tobago, we are headed towards Independence Day, and we've got those beautiful theme songs of Trinidad and Tobago in and out of each break. I want to welcome you to the program, and also it's a little bit of a tricky situation in Trinidad and Tobago right now. One of Trinidad and Tobago's favorite dishes, that is chicken, is on the shortage this morning. There's a 20% drop. It's actually the lead story in today's Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper, with prices soaring across the local production scheme and being cut by almost 20% due to searing heat. The Minister of Agriculture says that it should normalize in a few weeks. However, much like different issues that we talk about on this program week in, week out, you have to look at the long-term challenges of such a situation when it comes to chicken shortage. The searing heat is not going away. The droughts are not going away. Due to the environmental change, it's going to keep happening year in, year out. And by the way, we are in the midst of the wet season, what is a hotter and drier than usual wet season. So if this is happening in August, then what will next August be like? And so when we have these shortages of chicken, and we see the droughts that have been taking place not just in Trinidad, but across in places like Tobago as well, Grenada, different parts of the Caribbean and the Western Hemisphere, it really begs the question for us of where we are heading and how many more shortages can we see for local products and other products around our Trinidad and Tobago market. And so it's probably a great time to be vegetarian, to be honest. Let's also have a look at some other stories that have made it to the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper. 2 officers detained over theft of guns from a Port of Spain police station. That's at the top right blurb. Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander says the police posts will operate and be staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's going to be key. We've already seen a number of police posts been erected and nearing completion. I believe the government has said that by the end of this week, those police posts will now be launched and operationalized. So we'll have to see if that can have an impact on crime, if that will have any boost in confidence for a Trinidad and Tobago population that is eager to see some urgent reaction to crime. And also, a cops kill man wanted in connection with a colleague's murder, that is PC Rommel Douglas, who was laid to rest last week. On the back page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper, in the news of sport, Ramnat wrecks Leeward Islands. Trinidad and Tobago turns focus on defending champion Barbados, and that will be the preliminary round of the Rising Stars Under-19 Women's Championship that's happening in Antigua and Barbuda. Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados remain unbeaten in the West Indies Under-19 Championship. The round 4 results saw that the Leeward Islands Hurricanes were beaten by the Trinidad and Tobago women. It was a really short game, to be honest. The Leeward Islands women made 50 in 16.2 overs. Trinidad and Tobago's women scored 52 for 2 in 13.2 overs. It was all over very quickly. Congratulations to Trinidad and Tobago's women. Good luck to them in their match, their final preliminary round match in the West Indies Under-19 Championship. On the back page as well, PSG players lifting the trophy during the celebrations at the end of the UEFA Super Cup match against Aston Villa. That took place in Salzburg yesterday. PSG won the match 2-1. On the briefs pages as well, you'll be able to see what is inside the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper this morning. And that includes a floating house. This weekend, of course, being the Great Race. And this person has actually erected a floating house along Storby, and they will be enjoying that great race as the boats coming from Trinidad to Tobago. They'll be enjoying that in the comfort virtually of their own home, so to speak. It'll be very interesting to see how many people are actually on that floating home and what the view is like. I'm sure that my colleague who covers the Tobago for us, Stefan Nicholas, will be able to probably get on there and get a great vantage point. But it's a floating house along Storby, ahead of the Great Race, one of the most important events in Trinidad and Tobago's sporting landscape. Interestingly enough, if we were just to go back to that briefs, there's a very good read from former UE principal, St. Augustine principal. It's on page 16, Dr. Botiwari. And he writes on the value of VS Naipaul, and I think it's worth a read in the context of what Naipaul would have contributed not only to Trinidad and Tobago, but also to the awakening consciousness that we hope to have through Naipaul's writing. So I do encourage you to read Dr. Botiwari's page 16 op-ed today, published in the TNT Guardian newspaper. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen some rainfall amid the heat, and that rainfall led to some very wild scenes of flooding, particularly across central Trinidad. We've seen some really bad rainfall, some very heavy rainfall. It didn't fall all afternoon or all day, but there was such heavy rainfall that it actually caused a lot of flooding along places around Chagonas, around Couva, and these were some really, really bad images. You just wonder, this morning we'll have crews out there to see whether that water has since subsided or whether it's still at the very high level that we've seen. This is in actually downtown Port of Spain, and the drains in downtown Port of Spain fill up pretty quickly. But Couva, Tabaquí, Talparo were hit quite hard with some quite devastating rainfall yesterday, to be honest. And we have an update from Ryan Rampasad, who's the chairman of the Couva, Tabaquí, Talparo Regional Corporation. Let's listen to what he would have posted on social media.
Yesterday afternoon, we experienced some extremely heavy rainfall in a number of communities within the Couva, Tabaquí, Talparo region. More specifically, we experienced some flooding within the Calcutta community, some areas in Claxton Bay, and a few areas within the Gasparillo area. Our councillors in those areas have been working along together with the respective MPs. They have been on the field with our disaster management team. We went late into yesterday, around 9 p.m. we would have wrapped up some of our assessments with our disaster management unit, and we would have identified certain areas where emergency works have to take place this morning. 2 areas we identified unregulated development. It went unnoticed. These are developments in back roads where people are filling lands without permission, without the proper guidance, and they have caused clogging of some waterways in those communities. And this morning we will be deploying equipment in the areas where we can do so, and in other areas we'll be following up with town and country and the other relevant authorities to regulate these developmental works. So we continue this morning with our work. We head back out to the fields this morning with our disaster management team and our workforce, identifying those areas where the water courses would have been clogged. We are also working along with the drainage division under the Ministry of Works, under the guidance of Minister Jolene John, and we'll continue to bring the necessary support to those burgesses who would have been affected.
All right, so some emergency support work has to be done this morning, according to Ryan Rampersad, who's the chairman of the Kuva-Tabaki-Talparo Regional Corporation. He said a couple of interesting things there, and one of them was that there's been unregulated building, and that has always been one of Trinidad and Tobago's perennial problem, including flooding. But interestingly enough, the volume of water that we're now getting and that we've become very accustomed to now, because the rainfall, when it does fall during the rainy season over the last few years, has become, the volume of water has become so much that the drainage system, particularly in Port of Spain, has struggle to handle that much water. And for another time, we're talking about how do we now cater to climate change? How do we now cater to this larger volume of water that will not get any smaller anytime soon? It's going to get larger. It's always going to be heavier. This is now the new normal for us as we live in this changing climate across this part of the world. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for this government to see. I know that they've tried in many instances to clear drains, to really dredge as much as possible during the dry season. However, how do you cater for something that's that mammoth? And it is. And for those people, and you may not be aware of it, but for those people in Central, Claxton Bay, Gasparillo, that are this morning still cleaning up, they understand the sheer volume of the water and how quickly it rises and how our infrastructure just really isn't ready for that amount of water. So a lot of thinking for us to do, a lot of conversations for us to also continue with when it comes to this flooding issue, that we hope we do not see such images again for the rest of this wet season. But it is unlikely, because we're just in August. We still have a lot of time before the end of the year, before the next dry season comes. And so we have a lot of work to do infrastructurally. We have a lot of work to do technically to see how we can stave off the effects of climate change and really build stronger infrastructure. Let's check out the front page of Trinidad and Tobago's Business Guardian this morning. All roads lead to the east. And according to a story from Gisha Kaules Alonso, it's a highway of commerce headed towards East Trinidad that has seen a spike in businesses in that part of the country, merely because of its accessibility. When we come back from this break, we'll be talking to Peter Christopher, our Business Guardian reporter, and he'll walk us through this lead story of the Business Guardian newspaper, along with what is next in the Business Guardian as well. Stay with us here on the Morning Brew.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services. Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Every day, we're expected to show up for each other, for ourselves. What people don't see is everything that keeps us going. Because staying in the game isn't about one big moment. It's about showing up again and again and again.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Cold or flu? Take Panadol multi-symptoms. Relief in minutes. 7 cold and flu symptoms. Panadol. Release starts here.
In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you, our viewers and readers, first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair.
Impartial.
And to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail.
Rigorous verification of facts.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more.
The East-West Corridor is alight with businesses, new businesses that are opening up from Aranguez westward all the way down to Piarco eastward. What is driving this? Well, it could be centrality, access, and perhaps just better accessibility for consumers along the East-West Corridor. Peter Christopher, our Business Guardian reporter, joins us this morning. Peter, appreciate you being with us.
Good morning, Ryan, and good morning to Trinidad and Tobago and all your viewers all around the world.
It's a really interesting article, Peter, because if you travel along the East-West Corridor, anyone really, you would notice these buildings from Extra Plaza in Aranguez, Icon Plaza in Aranguez. We've had Trin City Plaza launch further east, and then, there's been so many businesses popping up along the East-West Corridor. What's driving it?
Well, it's a lot of opportunity for businesses to expand and to get people who are on the go. Of course, the Churchill Roosevelt Highway is a main artery of Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of people are moving further east as well because properties are a bit cheaper there. So we're getting a lot of people who are coming out of their homes early in mornings, and therefore they would see that these plazas are now available to them. It's more convenient for them. And what Geisha would have also discovered in her piece, she would have interviewed Jamak de Miliak of Terra Caribbean, who said because of the opportunity in terms of land space, a lot of these business developers are seeing the opportunity to build these complexes and also attract tenants because they would want that opportunity to have high traffic and a lot of foot traffic coming in to get their sales up. And it was also noticed by the head of the Downtown Owners and Merchants Association that these large expanses of land afford the opportunities to these businesses that they may not get in urban centers in Port of Spain or even a Chaguanas or San Fernando.
Yeah, I sort of traverse that East-West corridor a lot weekly, Peter, and the consumers are also coming. The consumers are also going to places like Trin City, the new Trin City Plaza, rather I should say Pennywise Plaza in Trin City, in an extra plaza. So the model is working.
Yeah, definitely, and it's not, and I think the DOMA president also pointed out, it's not just along Churchill Highway. We've seen it in Chaguanas with the series of plazas going up from Price Plaza right up to M6, Heartland Plaza, and it's because there's so many conveniences for consumers. There's a lot more parking than is available in some of the urban centers, and as economist Marlene Arts points out, it's good for the development of the country in terms of decentralization and allowing consumers and the commerce to happen as a result.
Yeah, that's interesting. I also want to touch on your story in today's Business Guardian. 450 people have responded to the Agentic AI Build-a-thon. How big a deal is that?
Well, it's very interesting. It's an interesting development because we've seen a lot of talk about AI, but this is AI in terms of developing, solutions and software to address some of the shortcomings that we've been seeing in terms of our bureaucratic processes for across the Caribbean, and some of the fragmentation that we've been seeing in terms of getting, the best or maximizing our potential in various sectors such as tourism and agriculture. So Barbadian entrepreneur and lawyer Lily Dash proposed this and created this company, Future Caribbean, to get this build-a-thon started. It's supposed to start in September, and she has 450 applicants who have been successful and are ready to go and start this process of the build-a-thon to develop that tech that is needed, in her opinion, for the Caribbean to achieve its potential.
Yeah, she's been adamant that places in the Caribbean, countries in the Caribbean, should not just be consumers of artificial intelligence, but can actually lead in creating the artificial intelligence tools that the Caribbean needs.
Yeah, and she's pointed out that a lot of the big tech corporations that we've seen across the world have had Caribbean involvement. People from Trinidad, people from Jamaica, people from Barbados have all worked in the Googles and the Metas and other companies, and Microsoft. I think I did an interview with someone who was in a senior position at Microsoft a couple of years ago. So there is that brain trust in the Caribbean. What we need to do, and what she's trying to do with this build-a-thon, is to get those minds to come back to the Caribbean and create those opportunities for us.
Let's also talk a little bit about the biggest story of this week so far, and that has been the relaunch of sorts, the bringing back of the steel plant in Point Lisas, at the Point Lisas Industrial Estate. Anthony Wilson, our business consultant, he asked some very serious questions on page 3 of the Business Guardian today. And the big question is really whether this country will see a revival of sorts with the relaunch of this steel plant.
Yeah, his commentary in the Business Guardian today asks a lot of questions about the transparency and the returns that we are supposed to get with regard to this steel plant. It was announced with a massive amount of US dollars, $250 million US dollars in the initial investment, and the potential to scale up to over 700 million, if I recall correctly. But he has other questions in terms of environmental clearances, in terms of the water supply that is needed. Is it going to go through the desalination plant? How is the wastewater going to be managed? And other questions that definitely need to be asked and answered if we are to eventually activate this plant in Point Lisas. Yes, there are a lot of opportunities, and it does bode well in terms of getting jobs, especially a decade after ArcelorMittal left Trinidad and Tobago. But there definitely are a lot of unanswered questions, and I think Anthony has been pushing those questions in this article today.
All right, Peter Christopher, appreciate your time on the Morning Brew, walking us through Thursday's Business Guardian.
thanks again, and enjoy your Thursday, and hopefully it leads to a great weekend coming up.
Thank you so much, Peter. Peter Christopher joining us on the Morning Brew, talking us through the Business Guardian. Lots to read in today's BG, so I do encourage you to pick up a copy of today's Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper. It's inside the TNT Guardian. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, though, Shiraz Khan will join us as Trinidad and Tobago faces a chicken shortage. How long can this last for? But more importantly, how often can we continue to see such a shortage? All the answers to those questions on the back of this break.
Need to open a bank account? There's no time to make the drive to stand in line. Get ready. Opening an account with Republic On Board is easy from anywhere at any time, even while waiting for a food order. So you don't have to skip lunch. Republic On Board. Fast, easy, secure. Visit www.republiconboard.com to open your account today.
We finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the new KFC onion ring chicken sandwich for $34.95, or get a regular side of rings for just $15. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today. We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Deba Shaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
For me, people matter most. It's the same if you hail from Moruga, where I'm from, Mount Irvin, Scarborough, or Port of Spain. As a journalist, I'm focused on building that connection between Trinidad, the region, and the world. Most importantly, I want always to use my voice as a powerful weapon to break down barriers wherever they exist. This is why we are where you are.
Yeah, this is the next generation.
Welcome Welcome back to the Morning Brew, everyone. There's a chicken shortage in Trinidad and Tobago, and if you're not feeling it just yet, you will soon, because many of the chains that you enjoy, franchises that you enjoy, will eventually hit a snag. I want to welcome to the program the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Farmers Union, no stranger to us here on the Morning Brew and CNC3, Shiraz Khan. Shiraz, good morning to you. Welcome to the program. Welcome back, I should say.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Blessed morning to all who viewing, listening, watching, and also to my fellow farmers who are struggling at this point in time. You know, I hope that I could bring some enlightenment to the discussion.
Well, let's start with this chicken shortage. How concerning is this, Shiraz, that we've ended up in a position where there's a chicken shortage in the country?
You know, it's a good question you're asking me, and I'm glad you start off with that. You know, agriculture, as you know, I keep telling you all, is being treated as the bastard child of the economy, and we are treated like, you know, we're not serious, and we're not important in that we could invest properly into the industry. Now, what happened is that this problem didn't happen yesterday. Since last year, in fact, in early 2025, we have been talking about the difficulties that we are facing with a number of things, right? And if you could remember last year in December, the Cayman Islands discovered they had bird flu. Could you recall that?
That's right. It was December last year, 2025, yeah.
December 2025. So the thing about it is that farmers was placed under a lot of problems to continue to produce, in that they will now have to put fine mesh throughout their pen to avoid birds coming into the pen and sealing the space between the galvanized and the pen, the fencing and all of that. So a lot of farmers went through a lot of problems with that. But again, we were reaching out to the different departments in the agriculture sector and saying, look, farmers need help. We need assistance in terms of.
Let's clear something up very early in the interview. You're saying that this could have been avoided, but others are saying it's due to the searing heat that we are now in a position where we've cut chicken production by 20%. Which is it?
The thing about it is that we could have avoided it if we treat agriculture or the chicken industry or the poultry industry with some sort of seriousness. Now remember, there's a lot of challenges within the system in terms of the medication going up by 25 to 30%. We have the chickens, which is a problem for us because we did breed the chickens before and have our own eggs and hatch it way then, but that has no longer been our issue. We are importing all the eggs and the birds. We have lost a sort of importance of what the industry means to us because we want to continue to look at more importation rather than development of our sector, where other countries within the Caribbean are doing that for themselves. We need to look at how it is that we reach there. We can't just say we reach there and it's not going to be fixed overnight. We need to sit down and understand that the problem you have right now is that the eggs in other countries are becoming less and less because of the heat problem. Fortunately for us, we are suffering, yes, but we won't suffer as much as the larger countries that have a high humidity rate than compared to us. We need to look at how we could do our things ourselves. Right? There are people fighting the heat who have the resources, like putting misters and putting sprinkler system and so on in the height of the day. They don't feed during the day, they feed early in the morning or late at night. There's things that we can do. There's things that the company asking the farmers to do, and we sort of at the same time, you know, balancing it off a little bit. Because of the heat, you're putting less chicken in your pens because you don't want to have them too clustered. Because of the cost of the chicks and medication, people are putting less in their pens.
Do you think, Shiraz, that this shortage that we are incurring right now can be repeated in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months? Do you see that this can happen again if action isn't taken?
Well, I am saying yes to that because we have not had no serious discussion on the way forward to deal with situations. What we have is like a firefighting system. Because something happened here, run and you put a plaster on it and you try to cool it down. But the problem you have is that we have a situation where we need to look at where the foreign exchange is a problem too, because people are complaining that they have to pay more for the forex. So their chemicals, their medication, the chickens have to go up because they are fighting to bring in. And then some people are bad for bringing it in because of some probably politics and other things otherwise taking place. But we need to look and see how we can fix the system to work for the people of Trinidad and Tobago rather than a party or a group of people or a cartel or something like that. We need to look at it because the people, the farmers who producing the birds, right? They are really assembling our bird in Trinidad here because we importing everything. We need to look to see how we could do things different.
Yeah, I want to point to a deeper problem when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago's food security. A UN 2025 State of Food Insecurity report found that Trinidad and Tobago estimated more than 500,000 people in this country cannot afford a healthy diet, with rising food costs identified as one of the major barriers. Do you see that from where you sit as president of the Farmers Union?
I have been talking about that for more than 20 years, right? Because it was on the radar a long time now going to happen. Remember, about 3 years ago, the UN report said that we had 300,000 people on the poverty line. It moved from 300 to 512,000. 300,000 to 512,000. Now, you understand something, right? If we, as citizens of this country, cannot think out of the box, out of the political box, and think about citizens and how we can develop our systems and make it work for us, we will go a long way together with farmers. But we don't that because for the past 25 years, all we have was big stick approach. People telling us how to do something, and we are saying, okay, we had some experiences and so on, and it's not working out that way. Let me just show something for you, right? And a little bit of history. In 2004, we had a situation where we had foot-and-mouth disease in England and so on. My friend, you wouldn't believe, and people of Trinidad and Tobago, I was on the livestock board at that point in time. We bought the sanitizing masks, right? We couldn't even get somebody in the airport to put out the mask for when visitors come into the country. And that was a big situation we had in the country. Look, right now we have a bird flu out in Cayman. How far is Cayman Island from us? Are we catching birds out on the coast or anywhere like that and doing random samplings to say, well, okay, let us just do something different. Let us be proactive. Why wait for the manual to hit the fan and now try to deal with it? We got to be thinking 2030 in 2026 or 2040. We got to look at how we can make things work for Trinidad and Tobago rather than a few people alone.
What is required and what would farmers like from this government right now?
Come and meet with the farmers and let us come down with a good agriculture policy for the future of Trinidad and Tobago. Not for a mustard or a ketchup group of people, but a people of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, our children. Okay, take for instance, right? Ryan, you take for instance, out of that 512,000 people, right? More than 500,000 out of 1.3 million people cannot have a good meal. Where our future is right now? Could you tell me, where is some of the future Trinidad and Tobago, future prime minister, presidents, doctors, lawyers, even gardeners and farmers and carpenters and plumbers and all of that? Where are we going here? Because if a child cannot get a good meal at this point in time, a nutritious meal, not a meal, but a protein, nutrition, security in this country, if we cannot get that, then we have a problem with our future, our children studying and being better sportsmen. We haven't had a gold medal in the last Olympics, right? Where are we going? Where are we going as Trinidad and Tobago as we want to see it where we were before and where we want to go now?
Shiraz, I want to touch on a couple of things very quickly before our time is up. One of them being Nestle. You've been at the forefront of really fighting for farmers with regards to Nestle's potential shutdown of its Valsine plant later on this year. Do you have an update that you can share with us?
Well, actually, is probably until June. We got an extension, right? But the silence is deafening, boy. The silence is deafening in communication both from the government and from Nestle. Our point of view is that when you look at the dairy sector, and I'm sure if you go back, you'll look some of the interviews we have been talking about this to the country and explaining to the country, but like somebody not listening, it go through one ear and come through the other. Our dairy sector is being dragged to the ground, and I don't know if it is because of we want the importers and them to increase the importation. I don't know if it's the land that they want. I don't know if they just don't feel anything in their heart for citizens in this country, right, of securing people, because yes, the farmers need to work and make money. So in order that we can produce a nutrition security for the country. Now, think about it, right? If it is that you do not deal with the important sector of the dairy sector for the last 20 years, how do you expect the sector to continue to progress? We are saying is that, look, here what's happening. We have milk coming from all over the country into Trinidad, imported right now in this country. And like, seem nobody want to care about any protection for the farmers of this country. And what happening is that there are milk coming from Jamaica, Barbados, America, New Zealand, Holland, all of these people. All these milk coming into this country. Foreign exchange leaving the country to get this inside of here. You will tell me that we have not paid any attention of developing the sector. All right? In 2014, we developed Monjaloo. In 2016, we shut it down. Over $40 million spent there. Right? The Caroni Green shut down. All of these things that have been working shut down. Right? We have over 1,000 acres in New Grant. Right? What happening is that people fighting for the land. We were producing grass there. It shut down because of we stopped contract labor and agriculture and other projects.
Shiraz,
Ryan, the country need to be think a little more about its citizens and the progress of agriculture, my friend.
Right. Let me ask one final question very quickly. You have held many news conferences on larceny, particularly within that central Felicity area around there. Do you feel that the oncoming police posts are now going to better aid in protecting things like larceny? The concerns that you have had, especially with farmers and their crops, do you support the police posts in that regard?
We have a police post in Castlefield. The PDL Larceny Central Office based in Castlefield. Right? Now, if it is that the guys and them there do not have the necessary resources to carry out their exercise properly, right? Is it that these police posts is just about somebody getting a contract to build a building? Is it that we have the necessary resources, or we just going to set up something thinking that the bandits and them go get scared and run away? Is it that we're going to have something very efficient, working with the community rather than being antagonistic towards the community? Is it that these police posts in the area is to stop any protests or anything that happened before it reached the Port of Spain? What is the real reason for it? Because up to now, we had a discussion with the Minister of Agriculture, the head of the Mr. Johnny Abraham, I forget his post right now, the MP for the area, police officers, the senior superintendent from the PDL Larceny squad. So far has done nothing, because just about a month ago, a bandit went away with 8 cows from one man farm. 8 cows from one man farm. People, when they get attacked, they are selling out their animals, and the animals are basically going to slaughter.
All right, Shiraz Khan, we'll have to leave it there for now, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it there for now, Shiraz. I have a very packed show.
Thank you very much for
but I do
having me,
appreciate you being on the program.
Everybody have a blessed day.
Same to you. Shiraz Khan, president of the Farmers Union, talking to us about a number of topics, including the police post, including Nestle, and of course the chicken shortage here in Trinidad and Tobago. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation, this time with the actual police. It's next.
Wisdom is chasing you, but you are faster. Your friends are investing with First Line. This one have house, this one building business. You, my son, hey, you are buying rims.
My enemies have succeeded.
It's not too late, my son. Call First Line. Secure your future today so we do not hang our heads in shame. I'll call First Line now.
Wisdom says it's never too late to take control of your finances. First Line Securities, helping Trinidad and Tobago invest for over 2 decades. Invest with us. Go to firstlinesecurities.com to begin investing today.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
your heart, brain, and body with omega-3. Packed with essential fatty acids, omega-3 helps support heart health, brain function, and overall wellness. Whether you're staying active, focused, or simply living life to the fullest, make omega-3 part of your daily routine. Live healthier with omega-3. Wellness that works from within. Tune in to Wellness Unlocked on CNC3 Sundays at 5 p.m., also on Monday and Wednesdays at 9:30 a.m.
Some moments change everything. Your family's first memories. Comfort isn't just about temperature, it's about feeling your best. Whether you're celebrating the big win or making unforgettable memories, the moments that matter deserve comfort you can trust. That's why thousands choose McQuay by Daikin. And now, every purchase of a McQuay air conditioner helps make a difference. A portion of the proceeds will be donated to the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society. Visit your nearest Schoolmax or Superco Limited branch or request McQuay from your trusted AC technician.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
Parents will do it. They'll go to work, have a day, bro, and come on and take that stress out on you.
Welcome to another episode of Manhood.
Everybody will do what they need to do to get what they want.
And if they can't fit in to the norms, then what they have to do, they have to survive. You know?
Not everybody wants to kill me because I might be all kind of thing, but I think I'm a good person.
The aspect of a mentor seeing something in you that you can't see in yourself.
Check yourself, because you shaped that generation.
Are we losing, in many ways, the values?
Since I have this Parkinson's diagnosis, there's a group, a very small type group, who will always look after me.
Welcome back. Police posts have been the topic of discussion in Trinidad and Tobago over the last 2 weeks, and we will continue that conversation with an old friend, Inspector Kurt Callender. Inspector Callender, welcome back to the program. Great to see you again. Yes, we used to talk cricket all the time together. Yes, he was actually on a program on CNC3 11 years ago.
About 11 years ago.
Well, I'm sure that you're still following the CPL.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Inspector Callender, let's start our conversation with the police posts. there's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding where these police posts are not only going in terms of its operationalization, but also whether it's going to be effective. How do you respond to the concerns of Trinbagonians watching you this morning?
Well, first let me say morning to you and morning to all of Trinidad and Tobago, and it's a pleasure being back on CNC3 again. Yes, the mobile post continues to be a very hot topic. And if I may answer the question this way, the selection of the mobile of the places to allocate those mobile posts were grounded in operational and strategic considerations. And I will just go through four of them very, very quickly. Crime statistics and trend analysis. So the selected locations reflected areas within each division that have recorded notable and elevated levels of criminal activity based on an analysis of the crime statistics over a period of time. So this is a data-driven approach and ensures that the resources are directed to the areas of greatest need, targeting specific crime, for example, larcenies, break-ins, road traffic offenses, pre-deal larceny, and so on. And number two, you have the intelligence-led positioning. So beyond raw statistics, the placements are informed by intelligence gathered through ongoing police operations, community engagements, and interagency information sharing. So this intelligence helps identify emerging patterns known as hotspots and areas of concern that may not be fully reflected in historical crime data. So it allows for a more proactive rather than a reactive posture. Number three, you have the strategic access and rapid response capability. What that means is each location has been selected for its proximity to major arterial routes, which serve as key transit corridors, including potential escape routes used by persons fleeing the scene of a crime. So positioning those mobile units at these points enhances the TTPH's capacity.
I do wonder, you know, we've been speaking to people with residents who have police units and mobile police units, and in some cases police posts across the country. And some of them have been telling us they've been ineffective. What do you think is going to be different about these police posts that will have an impact on crime?
Right. Well, again, as I was saying, and this brings me to the fourth point, improve accessibility for community reporting. So the placements also serve to bring the police presence physically closer to residents in these communities, providing a more accessible point of contact for reporting crime, seeking assistance, or engaging with the officers. So it supports the TTPH's community-oriented policing objectives by reducing the distance and efforts required for residents to access police service directly. So it's a faster response time.
So residents can expect, if they have a report to make, whether it's by mobile phone or if they have to go into a police post, residents across these areas can expect a faster response time.
A faster response time. But it is not only they coming to the police, it is also about the police going to them. You understand? So being more proactive, which means we are engaging the members of the public by going to them. Right. So there is a possibility that before they may even be required to make a report, we would have already engaged them, find out what their concerns are, and nip it in the bud, as we say in local parlance. So the officers would not just be sitting in a post hoping and waiting that somebody comes to make a report. We would be engaging the members of the public.
Right. When it comes to these police posts and what we've been seeing in the media, how will it be staffed?
That is a very good question. And I do not want to steal the thunder of the Minister of Homeland Security, neither my Commissioner of Police. So while they are working out the logistics, those would be mentioned in subsequent announcements. So I would stick a pin there where that is concerned, because I myself don't have all the details. I would leave the Commissioner of Police and the Minister of Homeland Security to expound more on that question.
What is the timeline we're looking at to see maybe these police posts now become effective?
Well, some of them are already built. And I think I heard the Minister of Homeland Security mention about 3 to 4 months' time to have all 30 of those mobile units up and running.
All right. I want to move a little bit to one of the other conversations that I wanted to have with you. The death of PC Rommel Douglas shocked the police service. Another suspect in that murder was actually shot yesterday in a police-involved shooting. Do you have any, as we understood it, there are 3 suspects, 2 of which have now been killed. Do you have an update on the 3rd suspect and the search for the 3rd suspect?
No, not at this time. What I can tell you is that those matters are presently ongoing, and unfortunately, I cannot expound much on an ongoing police investigation, especially when it involves a police-involved shooting where there was a loss of life. So whilst that investigation is ongoing, we will have to await the outcome of it.
But Inspector Calendar, one of the challenges that the police service continues to have, and I mean, I'm going to flip to it right now on page 7. I'm sure that you've probably grabbed the newspaper this morning as well. 2 police officers have been detained over municipal police guns, this time in Port of Spain. This happened a few months after April, in what happened in San Fernando. This continues to be a thorn, really, that the police service has to continuously deal with month after month. Well, rogue police officers.
Yes. And
has it gotten better? Is it better now than it used to be? Are you guys weeding out those rogue police officers now more than before?
Well, let me put it this way. As much as we are not where we want to be, we are not where we used to be. And hence the reason you have the establishment of the Professional Standards Bureau that was established specifically to investigate all alleged police officer misconduct of a criminal nature. And it also shows the public and tells the public that the TTPS as an organization, we are not afraid to investigate our own. We are no longer going to be pushing things under the carpet. Now, I just want to go on record to say that there is a presumption of innocence until proven guilty. So these are allegations. And now that now that the investigation is ongoing, I may not be able to speak directly to that. But I want the public to know that the TTPS, through the Commissioner of Police, has taken a stance that the organization is willing to do everything that is lawfully required to rid the police service of rogue police officers. And I'm not speaking specifically to this situation. I am speaking about generally. And the Professional Standards Bureau and other internal organization is charged with the responsibility to investigate all alleged police officers' criminal misconduct and allow the chips to fall where they may.
Inspector Kurt Alexander, rather Calendar, appreciate your time. Great seeing you back, and enjoy the rest of the CPL.
Thank you. You as well, sir.
Inspector Kurt Calendar talking to us here on the Morning Brew about policing matters. That wraps up the first hour of the program. We're going to head to the 7 a.m. news, and when we come back, we have a packed second hour. Stay with us.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Here at GMMB, love is the currency. And let's show you how we are able to transfer that energy into real conversations. How important is it for the client to be recognized and not to feel invisible, to feel like just a number?
At GMMB, everybody is seen as an ideal, important client. And we give everybody the same level of respect, the same level of acknowledgement, and we deal with you to suit based on that vision of love.
GMMB.
It's banking for real.
Do you think all dishwashing soaps are the same? With some, they require more effort, and they don't wash as much. Try Dawn and discover its grease cleaning power. Dawn removes stubborn grease easier and faster than others. Additionally, it foam lasts 50% more. With Dawn, you use less product to clean more dishes and save with every wash. Dawn, triple grease cleaning power.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you, our viewers and readers, first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair,
impartial,
and to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail,
rigorous verification of facts.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning, I'm Kay Marie Fletcher with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. A man wanted for the murder of a police officer is dead after a shootout with police in Matura. 48-year-old Hassan Johnson, also known as H-Man, was wanted in connection with the July 28 killing of Police Constable Romel Douglas in Kelly Village. Police say they spotted Johnson at Mora Trace on Tuesday, but he ran into nearby forested areas and escaped. Officers later surrounded a house where he was believed to be hiding and called on him to surrender. According to police, Johnson opened fire, prompting officers to return fire. He was shot and taken to the Sandy Grande Hospital, where he later died. Police also detained a woman suspected of harboring him. Former Energy Minister Stuart Young is welcoming plans to restart the Point Lisa steel plant, but is calling on the government to come clean on the details of the plan. During an opposition media briefing yesterday, Young said the reopening of the Point Lisa steel mill would be a positive development for Trinidad and Tobago. However, he says the public needs to know what exactly has been negotiated before it can be determined whether the deal is in the country's best interest. Young also welcomed U.S. support for the project, but stressed that it does not remove the need for transparency.
Where's the natural gas coming from? How many molecules need to be used? What is the price that is being paid for it? That steel mill was the single largest user of electricity when it was in play. What's the price for electricity you're selling it at? Is it a subsidized price that we, the taxpayers, will carry?
Laventille West MP Curry Marcel is calling on the government to immediately appoint a board of directors for the East Port of Spain Development Company. Marcel says it has been almost a year and a half since the company operated without a board. He is now questioning whether the delay signals the government's intention to shut the company down. Marcel also says 12 workers were sent home last week and several more contracts not renewed this year, leaving the company operating with less than 50% of its regular workforce. He said he was told by workers that management revealed the reason for the job cuts was because the company has not received any government funding to continue its normal operations. At an opposition media briefing yesterday, Marcel said the former PNM administration allocated $15 million annually to the company. But under this new administration, that allocation was cut in half. He said to date, no monies have been released to the company.
This UNC administration is systematically attacking East Port of Spain, and we must stand against it. I call on this UNC administration to appoint its board of directors to the East Port of Spain Development Company to ensure that in the next fiscal that they properly allocate monies.
This has been Headline News. Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Look, and they like how Trini does cook. And they like to hear Trini talk. And they like Trini woman walk.
Welcome back to the second hour of the Morning Brew, everyone. Happy to be in your company. I'm Ryan Beach. We had a fantastic first hour talking to Shiraz Khan, the president of the Farmers Union, talking about the chicken shortage, but also will police posts work for farmers who have been complaining about larceny for quite a long time. And then we had Inspector Kurt Callender also talk us through some of the facets of the police post. And before that, we had Peter Christopher, the Business Guardian reporter, talking to us about how the highways, the main artery of Trinidad and Tobago across the East-West corridor, is fueling even more businesses. We have a great start to the second hour as well. We will talk to Dr. Vashti Gaidin from the Coalition of Industries a little bit later on in the program. And of course, the CPL continues, and we'll have the latest from the Caribbean Premier League to end our program. But first, to kick off our second hour, Johansi Ayadike, the behavioral change consultant, joining us for our weekly segment. Johansi, welcome back to the program. Great to have you. When I say good things come to those who wait, thoughts?
Well, it depends, because we as human beings, we have our own meanings that we put towards something. So the word wait, W-A-I-T, have an objective meaning in dictionary, which means to delay an action until there's a specific time or specific event, right? Now, a lot of times when we humans say wait, sometimes we could mean that, but sometimes we could mean I don't really want to do it. Right?
Procrastination.
Correct.
The thief of time.
But we say wait. Or wait meaning, I could say wait and I merely mean I'm afraid to do whatever it is. So in exploring whether we mean W-A-I-T, that could become W-E-I-G-H-T, which is something heavy, one has to know what you really mean by when you say awaiting.
And that's a heavy burden.
Correct. It can be.
Yeah, it can become a heavy burden, waiting.
And it can become heavy when, and that dictionary meaning says, you delay an action until a specific time or event. Now, specific time or event means that at some point the waiting will end.
Right.
But have some people who don't have a specific time or event, or some people are just arbitrary. So therefore, it's no longer waiting, it's just kind of they're suspended, and that is when it can become heavy.
And that's also very dangerous, isn't it? Because you can spend quite a long time just waiting and not doing, and that doesn't take you to your final goal.
Dangerous, yes, because in terms of your mental health, let's just say I am saving for something. It's $1,000 and I could only save $1 a day, which means 1,000 days.
Correct.
That could be a long time.
That's a long, long time.
But every day I get $1 closer. So even though the 1,000 might be the weight, every day the weight is actually reducing. So therefore, it doesn't become stressful. You could see a way even though it's far along the line. When we don't have something specific, or we use the word wait when we really mean I don't want to, or we use the word wait when I'm afraid of, then that can become heavy because now it's distress. I don't really want to do this thing, so I'm delaying it. I don't really want this thing to happen, or I'm afraid and I'm not putting steps to do it, so therefore now it becomes stressful on the mind.
So what do we tell people who are right now waiting for something to happen, waiting for a major decision, waiting to take that next step, waiting for that next chapter, instead of actively pursuing it? What do you tell people? Do they go after it? Do they really just push and really start working towards it?
Ensure whatever your goal is, right? Whether it is short, medium, or long term. Ensure and do first some sort of, I'm going to say research, but I'll even before that. First, be honest with yourself if you really want this thing. Because sometimes people have goals. It's really what your parents want. It's really what society says. It's really what you should do at this point in your life.
What you're seeing on social media.
What you see, correct, what you see on social media, which most times is not what you really want. So if now you put in plans to do something that you don't really want to do, it immediately becomes a burden. So that's firstly. So be honest about, do I really want this thing, short, medium, or long term? Then, if it's yes, I really want this thing, then do as much research as you can do in terms of getting it. And then, after you finish that research, now all this don't have to take long, all this you could do in one day, sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And then when you do the research, ensure now and do the action as much as you can. Sometimes you can't do every single thing and make it manifest immediately, but you could put the right things in place. You have a dream job, but you need certain qualifications. You research the courses, it's taking 6 months to a year. All right, I start to put things in place. I have a health goal, right? And I do the research and make sure, and wherever it is workout or medication or vitamins, I put things in place. I have goals for my children, etc., etc., putting it in place. But what makes it a weight really is when I don't really want to do it. I didn't do enough research. I didn't do everything I was supposed to do. So now...
What's that psychological blockage you talk about? Because people know what they want to achieve sometimes, but they never really get on the train to try to get there.
I'll say two. One is fear, but most times, this is what I've learned personally and professionally. Most times, if you really want to do something and it's really you will do it. You will do it. You'll find a way. Even if you hide and sneak in to do it, you will do it. But when something is not what you really want to do, because many times, so I'll give an example. I have a lot of medical students that I see who have problems in terms of anxiety for exams especially. And I'll tell you, 60% of them, I don't really want to do this, but I should do this. I don't really want to do this, but my parents. Now, I use the medical students as an example, but there's many other things. You see people are trying to get this thing, that they just have a block, and then when you ask them the right questions, the person realizes, I don't really want to do this, But the people that succeed and do it, even if it's a long stretch, what keeps you doing this? Because I really want to do it. And that's the part. So when we say waiting, first really decide, this thing that I'm waiting on, did I put enough effort to make it happen? Because if you did, then now is really a waiting period.
Right. And that's where I want to go next with the conversation. There are people watching us this morning who are saying that I've been putting in the work, I've been doing the miles, I have been working hard at what I want to accomplish. It's not coming as yet. I still have to be patient. I still have to wait. What do they do in that waiting period while they are doing the work, while they are actively and they know intentionally they are pushing themselves towards their goals, but it's just not happening in the timeline that they would like it to?
Continue questioning whether it is still your goal. And I'm saying this because we as human beings are dynamic creatures. Sometimes your goal at 20 years old, at 25 years old, it changed. But let's just say at 20 years old, I made a 10-year plan, which means I would have accomplished it at 30. And 5 years into it, sometimes you realize, I don't really want this thing again, but I've put so much time in it, maybe I should see it through, but now you really don't want it. So now it becomes a burden. So those people who working towards something, ask yourself every so often, and you could decide is whether once a year, once every 6 months, is this what I still want? And if the answer is yes, then continue going. And most times when the answer is yes, you get the motivation, you get the will to still go. But sometimes it's no, sometimes it's I'm not too sure. And when you're not too sure, that is what makes it. So check in with yourself. And one thing about mental health in general, which I think many people fail to do, is check in with yourself and really ask yourself, this thing am I doing, do I really want to do it? This relationship that I'm in, do I really want to be there? This organization, this job, this everything. Ask yourself the question every so often, is this still for me? right? And then you will know whether you should wait or it will really be coming a wait.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit as well about the current circumstances that we live in. We live in a country that's sometimes really mentally exhausting. What would you tell people who are looking at the news, who are going through all of these challenges, and it's, some people online call it mentally exhausting? What advice do you have for the population?
In general, face reality. Many times we as Trinbagonians, we like to make things a joke. We like to pretend something don't exist.
Trinidad is not a real place.
Right? Even saying that, I think, before it was funny, to me, but now I don't think it's funny anymore, because saying that is almost like if I'm rejecting reality. Because the thing is, it's real. Now, I understand the play of words, but Trinidad is a real place because you're living here. What you're going through is real because it can affect you in many ways. Pretending it don't, or, in our country, we change governments, right? We have a certain period.
Yeah.
So many people use that as, well, when the government change, it will disappear. But sometimes what's going on is have nothing to do with the government. It's just systemic in itself. Or sometimes it's your neglect or a certain group neglect of things that they should do. So understanding the truth of it. Now, what I'm saying is easier said than done. Eh?
Yeah.
Because acknowledging the truth of something sometimes it takes a lot of courage.
No, but I want to dig a little bit deeper there, because it's a real important point that's often overlooked. We talk a lot about the politics and the politicians and the leadership. We talk a lot about it, but really as a people, have we failed to really do enough introspection and not depend solely on what happens at the Red House?
It's easier to depend on someone else and blame someone else for what's going on with you. Easier. I didn't say healthy. I didn't say functional. But it's easier to do that. And for those who actually decide, which it takes some courage and strength, to take their lives in your own hands, which doesn't mean necessarily you'll be a millionaire, but most times you will be, You can decide. If I was to take a quote, a scripture from the Bible, it says, faith without work is dead, which means something has to be done. You have faith in yourself. Even if you have faith in a organization or institution, you still have to do something. You have to support the organization in some way, whether it is through funding or effort. But either way, we always have to do something. Actually, this morning I was talking to somebody about equivalent exchange. The point is, you can't get, and this is life, you cannot get something for nothing. You always have to put something in, something. And whatever you put in, you will always get back. From since you're here now, whatever you sow, you reap. Even scientists say every action has an equal or opposite reaction, which means there are certain laws. You have to put in something to get something. So we as a people, even though, yes, we are all unique and differently, what we get in now is what we put in. And if we want something more, then we have to put in more. And that doesn't mean slave away, It could be something simple as everybody taking responsibility for themselves. You know what you're supposed to do, Ryan? Yeah. I know what I'm supposed to do, And sometimes you don't have the courage to do it. But when we start to get that courage and make sure, even that small step, then the nation on a whole will be a little more mentally fit to deal with things.
Johansi Ayodike, great way to end our segment. Thanks very much for being on the program. Appreciate it as always. Always enjoy our conversations. Johansi Ayodike talking to us, behavioral change consultant talking to us on mental health matters. Stay with us here on the Morning Brew. When we come back, we have the Coalition of Industry Services joining us. A trade mission is headed to Canada. What can they accomplish and what benefits can they bring back? We'll answer it next.
I'm telling I party until it rain, I dressing up in my red, white,
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Enroll your child today at CTS College's private primary school. Classes are online and taught by qualified and experienced teachers. Our fun and engaging sessions are recorded for further review. We cover the full range of SEA subjects with preparation for success. Students from first year to Standard 5 are welcome to join. And with our competitive rates and flexible payment plans, it's easy to enroll. Sign up today at CTS College.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
Live Caribbean Premier League, only on CNC3. The biggest party is on CNC3. We've secured the broadcast rights to the Caribbean Premier League, bringing you every TKR match live. To make room for the action, CNC3 News will air earlier on selected match days. Watch for our daily reminders on air and follow CNC3 on social media for the latest broadcast times, so you don't miss the stories that matter. Stay with us for every run, every wicket, every unforgettable CPL moment, only on CNC3. Follow CNC3 on social media for the full broadcast schedule. CNC3, your news, your cricket.
Questions that no other media house would ask. So, shed light on those things that are in the dark, those stories that no one else wants to cover.
I grew up reading The Guardian, actually. It's a household name.
About The Guardian, one thing that I like, the human interest stories have increased.
See the investigative pieces on the human trafficking. I find that very interesting.
You go more in depth.
On sports, especially local sports, and that's one of my highlights for The Guardian.
Yeah, I read in Guardian since The Guardian started coming out, started working. I was a newspaper man.
The stories that are being covered are well detailed and you get more facts.
Also, I think the editorials, I think they're doing a good job on this speaking the truth, and they're challenging the government to make things better.
Me in particular, of recently, the last 2-3 months, I've been reading The Guardian. I'm seeing a lot of news about the neighborhoods and the communities. And I even saw my community featured, and I was proud.
But The Guardian. The Guardian?
Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian.
The Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian is my first choice.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Welcome back to the program. A trade mission is set to head to Canada from Trinidad and Tobago. What are the benefits of that trade mission and what could they possibly bring back? I have with me from the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Dr. Vashti Gayadeen and Petronella Marchand, who is the Managing Director of Trinbago Festival. Ladies, welcome to the program. Great to have you on.
Good morning.
Dr. Gayadeen, I'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about the trade mission that's set to leave Trinidad for Canada.
Sure. So this trade mission, this destination was decided by our members. It is one of our
the priority markets of our members, and given their feedback, we decided to execute this mission between August 27th to September 2nd. Now, it's a trade mission with a difference because it's 3 in 1. It's a trade and investment mission. It also gives delegates the opportunity to participate in the Trinbago Festival, which runs over 3 days.
Dr. Guyadine, what can this trade mission do for businesses in Trinidad and Tobago?
First and foremost, Canada, we have been trading with Canada before we even both countries gain independence. And so we also have the CARICOM agreement with Canada and CARICOM, and we are Canada's largest trading partner within CARICOM. So it's not just a focus on goods, but also services. And it's to given that Canada hosts the Trinidad and Tobago's largest diaspora, it's to expand into new products that the diaspora, and in fact, since we launched this trade mission, we have gotten more interest from Canadians, diaspora Caribbean persons who reached out to us and have been telling us, you know what, you get Trinidad and Tobago products in Toronto. We need to widen the market. So hence the reason why we need to see food and beverage. We need to see logistics service, professional services. We need to enter into joint agreements with Trinidad and Tobago nationals.
Ms. Marchand, I want to bring you into the conversation here because, as I understand it, participation in the Trinidad and Tobago Pavilion at the Trinbago Festival, we will have potentially 70,000 consumers looking at our products. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. So Trinbago Toronto Festival was created 5 years to celebrate the independence of Trinidad and Tobago. And coming into our 5th year, we're going to be celebrating the 5th year of statehood. And yes, we approximately had about 65 to 70,000 people attended to the festival, the 3-day festival in Toronto. So yes, it has the opportunity to meet all these consumers, direct consumers. They're going to experience exactly what Trinidad and what Trinbago is, how we celebrate Trinidad and Tobago. This is about Trinidad and Tobago. So yeah, it's a great opportunity and we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a game changer for the festival as well.
It's also going to give us an opportunity, Ms. Marchand, to really advertise our local products to a Canadian market, and that could lead to great things. That could lead to partnerships, that could lead to trade. It's a really big opportunity.
Oh, yes, absolutely. What is really important, the fact is that even though it's a Trinidad and Tobago cultural event, everybody attends. It is well attended. And we actually have attendees or participants, vendors who are from other countries that come to participate. They actually come in to participate Trinbago. So yes, it is a great opportunity, and we're working behind the scenes to make sure that we're making all the important connections. A lot of our local politicians attend, business people attend to come to see the event. So yes. We're just excited coming in.
Thank you so much. Dr. Guyadine, I'm interested in finding out what are some of the target sectors for this trade mission to Canada?
Food and beverage that I mentioned before, tourism services. There is wide interest in tourism in particular, simply because the Canadian tourist is interested in what we offer. But ecotourism, birding, I mentioned professional services, cultural and creative industries is another area of focus.
Right. Interestingly, there's something really interesting. There's a post-analysis of this trade show, meaning that it's not just going to Canada. It's not just having all the meetings that will take place. There's going to be a post-mortem, a review of sorts, an analysis of the trade mission to Canada, meaning that there's going to be follow-up, Dr. Guyadine, after the trip is finished to see how these businesses move forward. What was accomplished? Am I right?
Correct. And in order to do that post-mortem, we have taken consideration in doing our homework. So there is pre-planning, there is preparation of all delegates. We have partnered with Global Trinidad and Tobago in ensuring that each delegate receives the necessary training in how to prepare to meet with a buyer.
Ms. Marchand, can you tell us a little bit about how the Trinbago Festival will take shape, where it might be in case we have any Trinis headed to Canada?
Okay, so yes, so the festival will be held August 20th to the 30th at Nathan Phillips Square, which is the city hall, the most iconic space in the city of Toronto, the home of the big, that lovely Toronto sign. It is a cultural show. It is about it's a culinary. There's a huge culinary aspect of it, and of course, Trinidad and Tobago will be there in full view for us to see.
It's also going to coincide very closely with Trinidad and Tobago's 64th anniversary of independence, which makes it a little bit more special, I assume.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We'll be actually launching at the event with the Council Journal of Trinidad and Tobago, the 50th celebrations for the month of September in Toronto. So, yes, we're really excited about, bringing a big contingent coming from Tobago as well. So, yeah, we're so happy about this. It's going to be a great place to come out. Hope everybody's coming.
Dr. Gayadeen, you mentioned how important and how long-standing our trade relationships with Canada have been. And yes, the United States remains our most important trading partner. But this is an opportunity for us to deepen even further our partnership with Canada. How important is it, given the geopolitical sphere of things right now in the world? How important is this trip going to be for businesses to expand?
Again, we have talented persons, particularly in terms of service providers. And as a country, given our economic situation, we need to focus on to deepen relationships with our existing trading partners. So there are areas that we have traditionally focused on, meaning sectors, but our people have been developing skills and competencies in different areas. So Canada gives us that opportunity to build on those existing competencies.
Yeah, I do want to end by asking you, just before you give us any more information that you want to give us, from a local perspective, representing the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, we've seen that these police posts are going to be across the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. Do you think this has the potential to inspire and reinvigorate businesses across Burgesses in Trinidad and Tobago if these police posts are successful?
Definitely. In fact, we did a press release a few days ago stating that we are in support of it.
Right. Dr. Vashti Gayadeen, anything else you'd like to add as Trinidad and Tobago's businesses head off to a trade mission to Canada?
Definitely. There is time for delegates, for persons, nationals to get on board with us. Just give us a call, give Rhoda a call at 637-6966.
Dr. Vashti Gayadeen, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Petronella Marchand, who is the Trinbago Festival's Managing Director. Appreciate you being on the program. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's check out how you can stay connected with us on our social media platforms. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll tell you how you can connect with us. Also, we'll give you something to think about, and we'll give you all of the details of how you can follow the work we do here at Guardian Media. Stay with us.
And the right things they would never say, like our sportsmen being rated among the best. Our scholars have sit and passed every test and put us right alongside the rest.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. Big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop, Semitoma, Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Couva, Chagonas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Run Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Run Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should with Run Credit Union.
your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Love eating spicy food, but soon after, that familiar discomfort begins. Heartburn, acid reflux, and bloating. Introducing Peptica Gel, formulated with aluminum hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, and simethicone to help neutralize excess acid. It's sugar-free with no chalky aftertaste and a pleasant orange flavor. Peptica Gel works fast to relieve heartburn, acid reflux, gas, and bloating, so you can feel comfortable again and get back to enjoying life. Peptica Gel, get the relief you need today. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
For me, people matter most. It's the same if you hail from Moruga, where I'm from, Mount Irvin, Scarborough, or Port of Spain. As a journalist, I'm focused on building that connection between Trinidad, the region, and the world. Most importantly, I want always to use my voice as a powerful weapon to break down barriers wherever they exist. This is why we are where you are.
Let's tell you how you can stay connected with us on our social media platforms and also get in touch with us via email. We're at tmb@cnc3.co.tt. Send us an email if there's a topic of discussion you think we absolutely need to discuss on the program, or if there's a guest you think should be on our program. It's tmb@cnc3.co.tt. Let's also tell you how you can stay with us connected on our social media platforms. We're at CNC3 News on Instagram, CNC3 Television on Facebook, and at CNC3 TV on X. Use the hashtag TMB on all of those platforms so that when we click it, we know that you're talking to us. Let's also tell you how you can stay connected with all the news that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, across the region and across the world. Download the CNC3 mobile app for Trinidad and Tobago's #1 source of verified news, and keep updated with all the latest developing, breaking, and current affairs that's happening here at home and across the world. Also, the Guardian website is also a great source of information. Log on at guardian.co.tt for all of the latest developing and breaking news straight to your computer, straight to your mobile device, and stay updated with all of the different business news, sports news, regional news, opinions, and letters being sent to us. Let's head to Sigoni now to see what's happening in the weather. Let's give you something to think about first, and then we'll head to Sigoni. George Patton said, "Success is how high you bounce when you hit the bottom." Success is how high you bounce when you hit the bottom. And certainly some of the most successful people that we know have hit rock bottom before bouncing back. Let's check in with Sigoni to see what's happening in the weather today.
Hi there, I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your daily dose of weather. Now we're trading some of the rain for more haze as we head into the next 24-hour period. There's a ridge of high pressure that is rebuilding across the region, and it is allowing conditions to become quieter and more settled, but not for long. As the rainfall eases for our area, Saharan dust is becoming the next thing to watch, and that dust concentration is already moderate and gradually increasing to significant concentrations. That means hazier skies, reduced visibility, and the potential for poorer air quality as we head through tomorrow and even beyond. So across Trinidad and Tobago, firstly in Tobago, we do expect sunny, slightly hazy and breezy conditions, which will be interrupted by just a few isolated showers and even an afternoon thunderstorm for the island. Now in Trinidad, we start off generally fair, even hot. Don't let the graphics fool you right now, but what we see is that from late morning into the afternoon, clouds will begin building once again, and there is a low to medium chance of an isolated heavier shower or thunderstorm, particularly near but not confined to hilly areas. Now most areas won't even see heavy rainfall, but where we do have one of those stronger showers developing, you can expect gusty winds, reduced visibility, and the possibility of street or flash flooding. Now if you're heading offshore, seas do remain slight to moderate, becoming occasionally choppy in and around showers. We have stronger low-level winds as well well, which could also cause seas to become locally agitated at times. And don't forget, spring tides remain in effect, so all marine users should continue to exercise additional caution, particularly around your high tide times and when you're conducting your nearshore activities. So the rain may be easing, but the atmosphere is not exactly clearing up. We expect fewer showers, yes, more heat, and a noticeable increase in Saharan dust haze over the next couple of days. With that said, hey, that's your forecast, and that's it from me.
Sigoni, have a great day. Let's head across to Jason Williams, who is across at the Canto Conference in the Bahamas. He's been keeping us updated on how that conference is going. Jason.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning to the Morning Brew family. Jason Williams on location here in the Dominican Republic for Canto 2026. And last evening, Canto hosted its inaugural Ministerial Awards. Coming out of the awards ceremony, Dominic Smith, Minister of Public Administration and AI for Trinidad and Tobago, received top honors for his work and contribution to the digital space. The chairman of iGovTT was on location, and I was able to get some perspective from Ria Kareem on Canto and the minister's win last evening.
It was a great opportunity for the representatives of iGovTT to be here. I think that Canto and conferences such as this really give us an opportunity within the Caribbean space, especially as leaders in the technology, the ICT space, to come together and really reassess what are some of the common issues and challenges we face, and look at ways that we could really leverage our limited resources, whether they are financial, in terms of skills, in terms of human resources, and understand what are some of the shared challenges we face and how we can work together to come up with solutions. I do want to take the opportunity as well to offer heartfelt congratulations to our minister, the Minister of Public Administration and AI, Senator the Honorable Dominic Smith, who was recognized for his visionary leadership in the ICT space in Trinidad and Tobago and in the Caribbean. Among Caribbean leaders, it's a great accomplishment and a great honor. We are proud of the work that he has been doing under the leadership of our Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. And we as iGovTT, we are incredibly proud. So congratulations to the Minister, congratulations to Canto. Thank you for this opportunity to share what we are doing, and we look forward to greater collaboration and greater competitiveness.
So yet again, another chance to bring you in real time some of the coverage of Canto 2026 from the DR. Stay tuned. Tomorrow I'll give the final report as Canto looks to wrap up. And we look forward to the big activity for 2027 and the announcement of the host country. I will share that with you tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much, Jason, and apologies for the error. I thought it was the Bahamas. It was actually the Bahamas last year. Of course, it's the Dominican Republic this year. Stay with us here on The Morning Brew, because up next, it is the CPL Breakfast Show. We have all the latest highlights and we have all the latest happening at the Caribbean Premier League 2026. Stay with us. It's up next.
Tears here and there, I tell them no way. Go.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
Everyone loves a champion. A champion performance deserves a champion home. At Classic Tiles, discover premium tiles, stylish bathrooms, luxury vanities, SPC flooring, and everything you need to bring your dream home to life. Because every winning moment deserves a home that looks and feels like a champion. Champions shop at Classic Tiles, located on Endeavour Road, Chaguanas.
The Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, teaching the truth about God's people, God's plans, and the secrets of God, all written within the pages of the Holy Bible, which is the Word of God. Watch The Hidden Truth every Thursday at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. on CNC3.
innings. Is this the best match of the season? Yes, it is. With the Unitrust Corporation on your team, it's the best match every season. Stop settling for less. Access the best performing funds on the market with the highest income fund rates in the industry with UTC on your side and its 44 years of investment experience. You won't just support the winning team, you'll be part of one. Visit the nearest investment center, agency, or ttutc.com to sign up today.
Love eating spicy food, but soon after, that familiar discomfort begins. Heartburn, acid reflux, and bloating. Introducing Peptica Gel, formulated with aluminum hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, and simethicone to help neutralize excess acid. It's sugar-free with no chalky aftertaste and a pleasant orange flavor. Peptica Gel works fast to relieve heartburn, acid reflux, gas, and bloating, so you can feel comfortable again and get back to enjoying life. Peptica Gel, get the relief you need today. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Your heart, brain, and body with omega-3. Packed with essential fatty acids, omega-3 helps support heart health, brain function, and overall wellness. Whether you're staying active, focused, or simply living life to the fullest, make omega-3 part of your daily routine. Live healthier with omega-3. Wellness that works from within. Tune in to Wellness Unlocked on CNC3 Sundays at 5 p.m., also on Monday and Wednesdays at 9:30 a.m.
Welcome back, and it is the CPL Breakfast Show. We are 5 matches into the Caribbean Premier League 2026. Last night, the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots took on the St. Lucia Kings. The Kings made 155 for 8. Kamil Puran scored 54 runs. Joel Andrews scored 58 runs as they amassed 155 for 8 in their 20 overs. Not a bad batting performance, you would think. It might just be enough. It did not turn out to be enough, however, because the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots got 156 for 5, winning by 5 wickets with all of 14 balls left to play. Andre Fletcher scored 48 not out from 41 balls. Carl Mayers scored 32 runs. It was all too easy in the end for the Patriots, scoring 156 for 5, winning by 5 wickets. It's been a fantastic tournament thus far, and just a lot of action in this tournament. Andre Fletcher would have certainly enjoyed his time out in the middle. Kyle Mayers, the Barbadian, continues to have a decent start to the tournament. He's been strong so far, and it'll certainly be interesting to see how far the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots are able to go in this tournament this year. I want to welcome to the CPL Breakfast Show this morning Dr. Tara Wilkinson-McLean. She's going to be talking to us a little bit about the sponsorship and the importance of investment in CPL. Dr. Wilkinson-McLean, welcome to the program. Appreciate having you on.
Good morning, and thanks for having us.
I just wonder, Dr. Wilkinson-McLean, how important is sponsorship involvement to the success of a tournament like the Caribbean Premier League that we see is commercially driven?
Well, sponsorship is at the heart of CPL. It funds everything that the league is able to do. Not only what we see in terms of cricket, but what we're able to do in terms of the social initiatives that we launch across the region. So it funds the cricket itself, and it funds the outreach that we're able to do within the communities in the Caribbean. So it's really the heart and soul of, it's the economic engine of the CPL, really.
Yeah. You know, the tournament attracts many sponsors. A lot of businesses, they want their products and their brands to be aligned with the Caribbean Premier League. Why do they see it as so important to attach their brand, the name of their brand, the image of their brand with the Caribbean Premier League?
What we bring to the table is a strong regional presence. So we have the Caribbean fans. We know that cricket is the heart and soul of the region. So we bring to them the passion, the heart, the soul, the culture of the Caribbean, but then we're able to project that into a global landscape. So we have a regional reach and a global platform. And those two things together are a winning combination for companies that want to connect with fans and want to project their reach outside of the Caribbean, but at the heart of it is the people of the Caribbean. Yeah. And so together it really is it's a great combination, a winning combination.
I want to to sort of ask you a two-pronged question. One, the first one is, it's a really great platform for Caribbean brands that would probably get domestic messaging across, domestic viewership. The CPL really takes those domestic brands, those regional brands to an international viewership, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So last year, 2025, we had viewership of approximately 1.1 billion across social and broadcast. And so on the back of the broadcast viewership, behind every one of those stats, of course, is a fan who's sitting either at home or in the stadium watching the game. So you have that opportunity to connect. But also because the players within the tournament, they also too have a following and a reach and are able to connect with people outside of the region. And so both platforms work together to give us the reach. It has that regional base, but we're able to package that Caribbean product and project it outside of the region so that the companies that wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to reach regional audiences, through the CPL, you can sit right in people's homes all over the world, really. It's a global platform.
And part two of that question is because of the CPL's reach and those viewership numbers that you just mentioned, has the CPL seen a lot of investment being attracted from international brands, international businesses wanting to align themselves with CPL?
Yes, absolutely. So if you think of our franchises, that's an example of international investment. Also, if you think of the brands that support CPL, so for example, if you think of our betting brand, they're an international investment. And so CPL allows the region to access economic investment from outside of the region. So it's international investment, not only through the franchises, but also through the partnerships we have with our sponsors. And so really, we are attracting investment into the region that results in an economic impact of approximately about 200 million on average per year that we are able to invest back into the region.
How do sponsors make the tournament, market the tournament, but also engage fans?
Yes. So they really help with the reach. So our fans, if you think of Republic Bank, our title sponsor, they help us to leverage not only through their platforms and through their voice, they help us to leverage what the CPL is about. They help us to take us into their brands and into their global platform. So our sponsors extend the reach of CPL, but they also allow us to reach fans where they're at. So of course, our sponsors all have business objectives. And when we start the tournament together, we really drill down on what they want to achieve. But the success of CPL partnership is looking at how do we find the connection between what brands want to achieve and what fans are looking for. And so we work together with our partners to extend the experience of CPL and to really have it custom tailored to the fan so that the experience is not only when they engage CPL, but every single partner that we have, how can we extend that fan experience? So it's about the resources they bring to the table, the platforms that they have, and the experiences that they build on the ground.
You know, Dr. Wilkinson McLean, interestingly, you talk about those partnerships that you formed. You've also made it a very important point for the CPL to partner with the tourism boards across these islands. And that's a really, really important point because you've got these hundreds of thousands of viewers from around the world who don't live in the Caribbean, and now you're partnering with these boards to try to get those hundreds of thousands of viewers to visit the Caribbean.
Yes, absolutely. So the tourism partnerships are important to us. We play across 8 host nations, 7 franchises, and every time we come to a new venue, we work really closely with the tourism board to sort of frame what is the story about that island they want to tell to the international viewership. So not only does it project the Caribbean brand, but it encourages people to visit the Caribbean. And many of those visitors are long-standing. They come to the CPL every year, and they make sure that they follow the franchises and the teams from region to region. So we have not only a diasporic audience, we have an international audience, and the tourism boards are critical to helping us to extend and to project what is the story the Caribbean wants to tell.
The economic impact, according to some tourism ministers across the Caribbean, this is not from you, these are from tourism ministers, the economic impact tourism ministers say across the Caribbean has been real, has been significant, has been tangible.
Yes, absolutely. So if you think, whenever CPL moves to a host nation, it's hotels, The teams have to go out, they have to eat, they enjoy the nightlife. And this is very important to me, the ability to hire people within the region and change their lives. And so that training alone, is part of the economic impact. So the investment is real. We are able to extend what we see as core tourist seasons. We're able to extend that window so that people are investing and visiting the Caribbean. And as you said, the prime ministers are able to testify to that.
On a personal note, Dr. Wilkinson McLean, you were recently named, and I'm reading it from my mobile phone so I don't get it wrong. You were recently named to the CRIC Exec Women's Power 50 for 2026. That's the first ever list recognizing the most influential women in the business of cricket globally. Congratulations on that. That is some milestone. How does it feel?
It's humbling. It feels good that the work is recognized. And most importantly for me, it gives me the ability to be on a platform that other women coming up can see that not only do they have a place in sport, but they have a voice and they have the ability to change how the region is seen and to really change the lives of people on the ground in the Caribbean. So it's an honor.
Yeah, but more than an honor, you in your time at CPL, which has been from 2013, so that's 13 years, in your time, you have also made it a point to grow the women's game. And this is a women's award that you have been rewarded with. How important is it for you in the position that you hold as head of partnerships at CPL to also see the women's game grow in the Caribbean? Because it's more intentional now than before.
So that's where my passion is. All of the research, all of the stats say to us that women are in excess of 50% of the viewership for sport. If you think Formula One, if you think tennis, all of the numbers are there to support growing the women's game. So you know that you have the viewership, you know that women, they have the talent. All we need, the resources and the platform. And for me, the WCPL brings that opportunity. It allows us to bring all of the partners that we've been working with before and to invite new partners to be able to leverage the game, because the game is the next growth opportunity.
Yeah, have you seen the type of growth?
Sport.
Have you seen the type of growth that you've wanted in the women's CPL, and do you want it to expand even further?
So we're growing. Every platform takes time to build, but the point is we're seeing the development. We recently had a rebrand, so the WCPL has taken on a new life outside of the men's league itself, which is important for it to have its own positioning. And this year, you're going to see the rollout of the new brand around the idea of she's in. So she's in tech, she's in sport, she's in business. And so it's about taking the heart of that game, but not only aligning it with cricket, but aligning it with everything that a woman is, that she wants, all of her potential. And so she's in is going to be big this year, so you need to look out for it.
I want to end, you have been with the Caribbean Premier League since 2013. That's a long time.
A long time.
You've watched this tournament grow from the inception all the way to 2026. What have you made of how this tournament has grown, not only commercially, but also on the field, and how you've been able to expand?
The growth has been exponential, and we bring it down to the partnerships that we have. Every single partner that we have in the league, it's more like family than it is a commercial relationship. And so what we've been able to achieve comes down to the partnerships with our sponsors, with the governments, with the franchises, and the growth I've seen. I couldn't have imagined when I started in CPL that the tournament would be where it is now, that I would be heading partnerships. So the growth has been real, not only for me, but for the team behind it and for the region. So it's been amazing.
Dr. Tara Wilkinson McLean, even in your job as head of partnerships, cricket is a team sport. Thank you very much for being on the program.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being on the program. Dr. Tara Wilkinson McLean talking to us. She's a head of partnerships at CPL, and she's been there throughout the course of CPL from 2013 all the way up to right now in 2026. They're doing some really fantastic job in taking regional brands to an international audience. Well, that brings us to the end of the breakfast show as well as the Morning Brew. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, we will be showing the match that we would have played last night, the St. Lucia Kings versus the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. That happens at 1 p.m. today on CNC3. Be sure to look out for it. And of course, the CPL action continues this evening with matches. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Brew. We appreciate your time. We will wrap up the week tomorrow. Be sure to join us. Thank you once again, and we wish you a wonderful day.